Hi, thank you for joining me. This is the first in my series of videos on the people who harm us. Other people can harm you, but it isn't always your enemies. Sometimes it's the people closest to you that harm you most. They harm in three main ways: manipulation, misguidance, and misery. This video is about manipulation, where someone uses words and feelings to get another person to do what they want. People can be selfish and, unfortunately, they sometimes manipulate others to serve their own purpose. Sometimes it's intentional, sometimes it isn't. People manipulate primarily because of a fear of loss or a desire to gain, maybe both, but it's because there's an end result that they want to get. So they use coercion and emotional blackmail to influence your decisions. They might lie, distort the truth, make threats, install fear or guilt to make you do what they want. Sometimes they do it because they're so driven by their own wants or fears that they're totally blindsided by it all. Sometimes it's because they have a condition known as narcissism, which is a state of mind where the person has no conscience or empathy towards others, has high levels of self-importance, a sense of entitlement, a constant desire to control everything, to be the best and to win, most of all to get what they want, no matter what. This is a whole subject in itself for another video, but these people are manipulators by nature. Everyone in their life is an object to be used for their own gain. It's so normal to them. They usually don't see themselves as bad people. They don't really think they're doing anything wrong. They just see it as protecting their interests. But often it's at the expense of other people. They don't care about your needs or your well-being because they don't care about anyone except themselves, although they're often good at pretending. I know a woman who claims to be spiritual. I don't have anything to do with her anymore, but she claims to be a healer and a psychic, among other things. She's not. She is the biggest manipulator I have ever met. She pretends to be so good, and she has all her followers who believe everything she says and tell her how wonderful she is. In her public image, she's a saint, all about world peace, planting trees and cuddling animals. If you know the song, I'd like to teach the world to sing, this is her. But it's a front. She's not really the loving, caring earth mother she claims to be. She is self-serving. She says what she thinks she needs to say at that moment. She contradicts herself all the time. She always goes on about empowering people and living an authentic life when actually she's doing the opposite. She uses people to her advantage. She latches on to men with money, takes all she can get, then moves on to another one. There's nothing authentic or spiritual about anything she does. I think there is some self-delusion there. I think she believes she's a good person in her own twisted mind, but whether she's aware of it or not, she's a manipulator. People like this are among us, but unfortunately, they don't have horns and a tail. They look normal. That's what makes it so hard, because they generally just blend in, and you wouldn't know there was anything unusual about them. They can be in your family, at work, in your friends' circle. If they're in your life, they will be manipulating you because that's all they do. You serve a purpose for them. How well they hide it depends on the level of intelligence and self-control. Some of them are relatively easy to spot because they have impulse control problems. They lose their temper all the time over any small thing. They're loud, attention-seeking and arrogant. Some of them hide it very well. This group is especially difficult because they work undercover. They hide behind their false image of being a good person. Another term for them is a wolf in sheep's clothing. It can be very difficult to tell if someone really is a manipulator, and often it takes time to find that out. There isn't a straightforward strategy that works all the time. Really, you can only find out from being attentive to their words and their actions. To realise that someone close to you is one of these people is extremely difficult and distressing, because naturally you want to believe that they're a good person with good intentions. But if you know what they are, at least you can protect yourself from them, because you know that any advice they give you is for their benefit, not for yours. You know then not to go to them for help or advice. You can't make them see reason or become a better person. People like this don't change. I believe that the best thing you can do when making decisions is to take it upon yourself to find out what you need to know from impartial, credible sources, not some random page on the internet or a friend in the pub, so you can make an informed decision. Families can be very difficult. Sometimes I think it would all be so much easier if we could be like trees and just grow up out the ground. Family, as much as they love you, what you do impacts on them, and if they feel threatened, they might use manipulation. Maybe they have an image to maintain, they want to look good in the eyes of everyone else and don't want people asking questions. Or they want you to be a photocopy of them. Maybe they want you to do something because they will benefit from it. Or they want to keep you close by them. But this isn't good for you because it's really about them, not about you. They may not be consciously aware of what they're doing, but the things they want you to do are not always what you actually need. And this can do you a lot of harm because you do what they want and then you end up being unhappy. They don't know what's right for you. Only you know that. If your heart is not in it, then it's not right. Usually you know in your heart whether something is right or not. That's what you have to pay attention to. Listen to your feelings. Get advice from someone who is qualified and impartial. I hope this has been helpful. Thank you for watching. See you next time.